Fox fam, we'll be getting started shortly. I guess Toasty just got here, so it's about to be here. All right, you can take lo-fi down, Psycho. Hey everyone, thanks for coming. I definitely appreciate your time. So there's a few topics we're going to cover today. I'm going to have the Smith speak a little bit on LATAM. Education couldn't make it today, unfortunately, but it's all good. They actually have a call tomorrow if you want to join and see what they're doing and get the update firsthand rather than me just like speaking on it. So we're going to cover Meta Factory update, GU stakes status, some merch store items that we kind of haven't really covered with the broader community, possible Opolis related continuance on like AMAs or like partnership like talks and stuff like that with Opolis. We're going to do that LATAM update, like I said, go over a little bit of Global's process. I'll try to touch on education. They're just doing so many things it would be hard for me to like really cover it correctly. And then I guess I'll be talking about testing CoinMarketCal. There's some cool like marketing related features that I'd like to test for marketing and possibly hand it off to them. They have some like press release stuff and some like benefits, like we get like free paid ads basically for having like a premium service that we kind of like would benefit from in other ways. It's like a calendar service for the broader public on like DAO happenings and like crypto project happenings. And then we're going to be doing like a training tomorrow, and I'll go over that with what we're doing with marketing and like how LATAM and specifically the Smith and Vlad are going to be helping marketing a little bit with their Web3 plan. So if you want to get started, Toasty, I'll kick it after you. If you want to start with the Meta Factory stuff.
Yeah, cool. So I was just pinging everybody in general just to give everybody a heads up that the office hours is happening now. Yeah, good news with the Meta Factory stuff. Thanks to Hoff and Gray Machine and everybody that's been kind of like working on that. We actually have some pretty cool mock-ups done of these like limited edition shirts and hoodies. I can post actually. Let me just give a little sneak peek of one of them in the stage chat. Just give me 1 second to copy pasta that. But yeah, we're hopefully going to have the designs like finalized by, I would say as soon as tomorrow, and we'll have that kicked over to the Meta Factory people, and we'll start working with them on, the kind of materials that we're going to be using to make this. Right now, our best thought is that this is going to be a closed launch, so it will be a limited run of, 2 to 3 different kinds of T-shirts with different like limited availability for each of the different designs, and a hoodie as well. And right now our best thoughts are probably around 150 t-shirts, 150 hoodies, and once they're sold out, they're kind of gone forever. We will be doing some cool things like tying them to some visual art, making the t-shirt actually be on the blockchain in some fashion, in a 3D fashion that you can kind of use in the quote unquote metaverse or just have it. We're also going to try to tie some utility into it with the Fox tokens. Hunt and I are still working through what that looks like right now. So some exciting stuff. And this is just for us to test kind of like the Meta Factory launch. We will be doing multiple launches with them. It cost us $0, and it actually earns the DAO some of their tokens, the robot tokens. So we will be, funding the treasury with all the shirts that we sell. We'll be earning robot tokens and some income from the sale, and they'll go right back into the foundation, into the treasury, which will be pretty awesome. And then the next drop that we will be doing will probably be more like crowdsourced art competition, having people design it, and we'll be doing some more like open runs. So they'll run for a week instead of just like a limited amount of 200, 300 shirts. We'll have it open for a week, and as many get purchased in that week will be up for sale. So that's the update for the Meta Factory stuff, and we're hoping to have everything launched the first half of Q2. So in the next month or two, we should have everything up and running with Meta Factory and be ready to like make that announcement. And if people aren't familiar with Meta Factory, I'll post a link as well to kind of some of the drops that they've done. They've worked with a lot of big, they've worked with Sushi Swap, they've worked with Thorchain. Uh, what's really cool about their product is all of their shirts come with, embedded little chips by the tag and stuff like that. So it's kind of like shows that the shirt is also purchased on the on chain. It's pretty cool stuff. So that's my update for Meta Factory.
Yeah, dude, while I have you like rolling, the merch store like kind of like ties into that topic a little bit. If you want to hit that, and then just the Opolis thing with the education team, I think those are the only two items really that you might want to cover.
Yeah, yeah. So others thing is there is the actual merch store, like the ongoing like Shapeshift merch store that will be funded, like that will be from the DAO. We had a quick little call with them yesterday afternoon to talk about working on a demo, like a site demo, so we can see what the overall merch store will look like. So hopefully today, I think that's when they said they would have some of the assets over, so we could take a look at what the demo would look like. So once we get that, we'll kind of share it with the community. But super excited for that to go live. So we'll just have like an ongoing place that foxes can go in and buy. I think we have a T-shirt, hoodie, and hat at launch, and hoping to potentially expand to other products like Kiki and stuff in the future as well through that whole online merch store. And then in terms of Opolis, the update around that is, so people that aren't familiar, Opolis is a way to take, crypto stable coins, and they produce a W-2 on behalf of receiving stable coins. They offer healthcare options. They have, it's a co-op, so you earn their tokens that you can stake. They're called work tokens. It was pitched to us as at centralized Shapeshift as we were converting over to a DAO. And I know a lot of people, myself included, use them. So I've been talking to Opolis quite a bit because they wanted to do some interviews around ETH Denver. So they may be talking to some of the people that are going to be at ETH Denver that use their services. I know I'm giving them a quick little interview of like how it's been using their product and stuff. But we're going to be hosting hopefully in the next couple weeks, maybe in the next week or two, potentially right after ETH Denver, just because it's kind of crazy right now, an AMA with them, and then we're working with the education team to actually add them as a resource for the onboarding flow. So the education team has been working quite a bit of, what does it look like when a user hits our Discord, or a user reaches out to the DAO to like start working for them. So it's going to be potentially part of like the onboarding user flow of like, hey, this is an option for some of the people that want to be paid in crypto, but they still at the end of the day need a W-2 or they need healthcare or something. This is a good option that's out there. And it's just a cross promotion. They've been pretty kind to us as a DAO, and their service is pretty nice. So that's my update. Was there anything else, Hunt, you wanted
Toast.
me to cover?
If there'll be like a bunch of topics that you might want to
Yeah.
touch on, but yeah, those are like the main, the core items. Yeah, so in relation to like the education team, they've been pretty like heavily focused on the onboarding process and like trying to like map things out for people and evaluate like where we might have friction points and stuff like that. And as we go through that process, we've started to create like education documents and stuff. I see Seth's here, so if he does want to get up on stage, that would be cool. If he doesn't, it's totally cool too. I have tons of stuff to cover. But we do have an education team meeting tomorrow. If you want like a more in-depth coverage of like that project and that topic. To move forward, I guess the GU stakes conversation is kind of like kicking back up. I need to talk to Pete in marketing with Toasty about that open like discussion. It kind of got started like a couple months ago with Monstrosity. So I'm hoping that we can like really like tie together with them and like their play to earn like DApp and like what they're doing and like the launch they just did the other day with their competition mode finally coming out and like being functional. I think it would be like a fun like partnership for the community. I know a lot of people had fun with the anime the other day that we did, so it'd be really cool to like continue that relationship for sure. And I don't think I see the Smith here yet. I know he's gonna want to talk eventually, so I'll just skip Latam for now. I'll jump into global. Global has LPX has been trying to work closer with engineering, so we have like a list of languages that we're trying to support on the alpha launch, and it would be really good to really to get this list taken care of. I think there's like over 6 languages that we're possibly approaching that LPX is trying to support, and that LATAM's also trying to support. I think they're covering Spanish and Portuguese, and LPX and company are covering the rest. I know we have French, Russian, some others. So if you guys want updates on that, jump into engineering or ask LPX in global. They can give you more in-depth information than I can off the top of my head. The next item, I guess, before the Smith jumps up here or jumps into the call, I've been messing around with like CoinMarketCal, and it's like a public calendar of sorts for like crypto projects and like DAOs to post like what they're doing, and the happenings and like roadmap stuff and things like that. So there seems to be like decent traffic coming from that site already. While I'm using the free version, I do want to test like a premium version. It's like 130 bucks a month or something. I think I'm just gonna do it for this first month and see like what kind of benefits I get out of it. I get like a bunch of like press release benefits and like paid advertising benefits that I wouldn't pay for like with like crypto or like fiat really even. But if I'm already using the service for something else, it would be cool to test that traffic creation venue. And that kind of leads me into tomorrow. We're going to be talking to the marketing team. Latam is the Smith and Vlad, I believe, are going to be training marketing a little bit on Web3 strategies and just trying to mirror what Latam is doing so well with like some of the guerrilla marketing and like organic growth tactics that they use and they're well versed in. So it'd be really good to get like both teams on board with one another and kind of like mirror, at least like get both sides mirroring each other and get like a system in place so we have like a functional and productive team that like knows what they should be doing and like knows how things flow and stuff like that. Um, yeah, so is there anything you want to cover, Toasty, before I jump into some Latam stuff and maybe get the Smith up here? Um,
No, I think that's perfect. We want to start adding people up here, and then we can kind of kick it to open forum if there's any questions.
yeah, cool. I'll invite Seth, and if the Smith jumps in here, I'll invite him too. So Latam's we've been doing like a whole bunch of strategizing with like the Latam marketing situation. The Smith and I have really been doing that for the last like 4 or 5 months, and things have been like coming into place really beautifully, in my opinion, with their strategy and like the way that they communicate with the community and the way that they're like building all these Web3 platforms and like the communities that they're basically creating. Because Shapeshift doesn't necessarily really have like a branding presence in Brazil, at least, as far as we can tell. So it's been fun to see like small communities building around like our DAO in places that we previously like just weren't capable of covering just because there's so many communication barriers for the people that have like historically been involved with Shapeshift. So it's opening up some really awesome doors. It's really exciting to see. And I guess I could let Seth take it away. Jump back over to education.
Hey, so I don't have too much to report directly. I've been working on rounding out the notion in our documentation. I know that Jess has been working with Miss to figure out how to update the Discord to make it easier to onboard new people. I know that David is still working on the exchange options so that people
Oh
can
yeah,
figure out how to, or so we can provide documentation on how to off ramp your Fox.
yeah. There's been some really cool documentation coming out of education. Seth and I like kind of well, Seth really spearheaded the effort in getting like a coordinate document created for the community. I'm probably gonna like share that with everybody later today after I polish it up a little bit. There's like some missing information on the document that we won't really have until the 8th, just because we haven't had like a full term hasn't like completed on coordinate. So on the 8th, I'll have like more screenshots and like more how-tos and more explainers on like what to do once like Workstream leaders get the CSV file that's created once a term ends on coordinate. So that'll be fun. It'll be good for everybody just to like easily be educated on how to like use it, how to take notes, how to distribute your points and all that. So I personally love it. It's been really fun to use coordinate. And every time, like if I see something that like somebody's doing, it's really easy to jump on there and just like take a little note. And just like really like creates like an explainer for myself once I do have the file and all the information. I kind of think that it might like show us that there are weak points like in within a work stream, or strong points like within anybody's like productivity. There might be like indicators based on those notes maybe, that like provide work stream leaders with like an idea of like what people need training on, like what people do great, like what people enjoy doing, what people hate doing. So it might open up workstream leaders like eyes, in my opinion, and like enable us to like optimize productivity a little bit. So that's something that like I'm excited to see, if that like theory actually plays out. But yeah, Seth, anything you want to cover on coordinate since you're the guy?
Well, I mean, you're the one who wrote the document. It was just my idea.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was a really good idea, bro.
yeah, I mean, I've kept an eye on it, and I think it's really good. So, if I'm
I
not
like it.
mistaken, Hunt, you are the top expert in the DAO on actually using coordinate. So, if anyone has any questions, I'm directing them to you.
Yeah, if you guys do have any questions on coordinate, definitely feel free to DM me, for sure. I don't know if we're gonna get LPX in time because I do have to cap this like relatively quickly. I have some stuff I have to do. Toasty, is there anything that you want to like definitely go over before we kick it over to the community? See if people have questions.
Oh, yeah, one thing I'll say before we move on is that, right now the education team's doing a lot of meetings and trying to figure out the best way to help onboard new people. And right now that's our top priority. So, what you'll be looking forward to, or what you'll be able to see from us soon, is going to be resources on how to onboard new people.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a note from like engineering's book and just like give you like praise for sure for everything you've been doing. I definitely have enjoyed seeing like you progress like in the DAO and like find your place and like find stuff you like doing. So it's really cool to see. Thanks, Seth.
You're welcome. It's always great to be
Um,
appreciated.
yeah, man, of course. So I don't know if we're gonna get the Smith in time. Toasty, you want to cover anything before I kind of have to kick it?
No, I say let's kick it over just in case we get some questions coming in here.
Cool, sweet. Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, just jump up on stage or just in the stage chat or something. Any merch ideas? Anybody have any sweet design ideas for us? It
When are we
would.
gonna do some sweet tie-dye swag?
Dude, I know.
So,
I've been trying.
so as we were looking through, once I had the designs finalized, I can say that it's not necessarily tie dye, but we are working with some rainbow gradients for the hoodies for this first launch with Meta Factory. So won't be necessarily tie dye, but it'll be pretty close to tie dye. That's as much as I'll say until we get the final designs. It should be pretty cool. Once we see how the traction does on this, I don't see why we can't, start doing more of the fun colors and stuff. I could only imagine if we had done like tie dye ETH Denver shirts, how fast they would go with the booth.
Yes, love that idea. Okay, rainbow gradients. That sounds pretty cool. And something we can think about. We had this idea for a Giveth swag party in in Barcelona for ETH Barcelona. Maybe Shapeshift could join forces with them on it. But basically, we would just do a party in the park. So it'd be super low budget. We print a bunch of white T-shirts with like a Shapeshift logo, and then just go to a park and have a bunch of like tie-dye equipment. So just a bunch of ink and rubber bands basically and like plastic bags, super low budget, and then everyone gets to make their own like one of a kind tie-dye shapeshift shirt.
It'd be pretty cool.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd
I
be
like that
dope.
idea.
Yeah.
What about all those canvases you have?
Oh,
Still have
dude, I
those?
know, right? They're like in a bathroom that I like had to lock. I've had my fingers crossed that like she wouldn't open like the bathroom door or like try to figure out why it's locked for the last like 4 weeks or 5 weeks. But yo, I see I have Mogi in the crowd. I do need to connect like support and the education team for sure. So it'd be really cool if we could get them connected. Mogi, if you're hearing me. I think Jess wants to talk to like you and Meg, or David might want to talk to you guys about trying to like ensure that we're not like covering the same content, like with how-to guides and stuff like that. Marketing almost like accidentally mimicked the Angel Vault help desk article that came out the other day, yesterday or the day before, that Meg posted. So it'd be really cool to like get everybody lined up so we can avoid like wasting like hours and hours of people's time, like creating basically like the same document with different layout, you know. And I think that's the only other item that I really wanted to
Yeah.
cover.
Cover a couple things real quick that came in
Yeah.
into the stage chat, just kind of from PTT. We'll get the gold keep key over to Willie. I'll ping Willie after this to get his address. I'm still like on the fence if I'm gonna make it to Denver or not. So just in case, I'll send the gold keep key to make sure that you get yours while you're there. But if not, then I might even be there in person to deliver it to you. Also, I saw you ping something about NFTs, and that's something Hunt and I need to pick back up. In chat through like the potential of us, partnering with a existing NFT, project that's being worked on, or even the ability to create a full, NFT series around the DAO that would support like kind of the treasury. But it's a pretty large undertaking to make it successful. So we're just kind of toying with a couple different ideas right now. And then the last update was since we've been up and running for about a full month now, looking at some of like the social numbers as we've been like kicking off a little bit more into Twitter. We're actually hitting some pretty good growth in there with just our updates and our posts and kind of interacting with the community. We promised the community we were going to shoot for 2.5% month over month growth, which doesn't sound like a lot, but once we pass the 100,000 followers, it's actually a decent amount to gain every single month. And right now we're sitting about 3.8% for the month of January for an increase in followers. So hitting the numbers, going over what we're targeting, and we're just going to keep trying to grow rapidly so we can get the word out.
Yeah.
That's about it for my update. So if nobody else wants to come up and chat, Hunt, I think we can give everybody some time back today.
Yeah, speaking of like right before we give everybody back time, if we don't get to Smith by the time we close out, that like the growth that LATAM has been like experiencing with like their social profiles too has been really good to see. It's actually really healthy in my opinion, by any standard, to be honest, without like injecting money into like the flow of growth. So I think it's going to be awesome for LATAM and marketing to connect tomorrow and do like a training session basically. So if anybody like is interested in like being there for that, I definitely extend an invite to that session so you can like really like understand like LATAM's like strategy on what they're doing and how they want to grow and like what they think they want to do, and maybe like give us like suggestions and help us. So we're all just trying to DAO it. So yeah, Toasty, we can give people back their time. End it on that note.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody for coming. And as we start finding out more information and have some cool images to share from the merch store, we'll send those out to everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thanks everybody for coming. Appreciate it.